Selections from the Pulitzer Prize winning collection by Louise Gluck entitled The Wild Iris. The Wild Iris. At the end of my suffering, there was a door. Hear me out. That which you call death, I remember. Overhead, noises, branches of the pine shifting, then nothing. The weak sun flickered over the dry surface. It is terrible to survive as consciousness buried in the dark earth. Then it was over, that which you fear, being a soul and unable to speak, ending abruptly, the stiff earth bending a little, and what I took to be birds darting in low shrubs. You who do not remember passage from the other world, I tell you I could speak again. Whatever returns from oblivion returns to find a voice. From the center of my life came a great fountain, deep blue shadows on azure sea water. Matins. The sun shines. By the mailbox, leaves of the divided birch tree folded, pleated like fins. Underneath hollow stems of the white daffodils, ice wings, cantatrice, dark leaves of the wild violet. Noah says depressives hate the spring, imbalance between the inner and the outer world. I make another case. Being depressed, yes, but in a sense passionately attached to the living tree, my body actually curled in the split trunk, almost at peace in the evening rain, almost able to feel sap frothing and rising. Noah says this is an error of depressives, identifying with a tree, whereas the happy heart wanders the garden like a falling leaf, a figure for the part, not the whole. Spring snow. Look at the night sky. I have two selves, two kinds of power. I am here with you at the window, watching you react. Yesterday, the moon rose over moist earth in the lower garden. Now the earth glitters like the moon, like dead matter crusted with light. You can close your eyes now. I have heard your cries and cries before yours and the demand behind them. I have shown you what you want, not belief, but capitulation to authority, which depends on violence. Matins. I see it is with you as with the birches. I am not to speak to you in the personal way. Much has passed between us, or was it always only on the one side? I am at fault. At fault, I asked you to be human. I am no needier than other people. But the absence of all feeling, of the least concern for me, I might as well go on addressing the birches as in my former life. Let them do their worst. Let them bury me with the romantics, their pointed yellow leaves, falling and covering me. The garden. I couldn't do it again. I can hardly bear to look at it. In the garden, in light rain, the young couple planting a row of peas, as though no one has ever done this before. The great difficulties have never as yet been faced and solved. They cannot see themselves in fresh dirt, starting up without perspective. The hills behind them pale green, clouded with flowers. She wants to stop. He wants to get to the end, to stay with the thing. Look at her, touching his cheek to make a truce, her fingers cool with spring rain. In thin grass bursts of purple crocus. Even here, even at the beginning of love, her hand leaving his face makes an image of departure, and they think they are free to overlook this sadness. April. No one's despair is like my despair. You have no place in this garden thinking such things, producing the tiresome outward signs, the man pointedly weeding an entire forest, the woman limping, refusing to change clothes or wash her hair. Do you suppose I care if you speak to one another? But I mean you to know I expected better of two creatures who were given minds, if not that you would actually care for each other, at least that you would understand grief is distributed between you, among all your kind. For me to know you as deep blue marks the wild scilla, white the wood violet. Matins. You want to know how I spend my time. I walk the front lawn, pretending to be weeding. You ought to know I'm never reading, on my knees, pulling clumps of clover from the flower beds. In fact, I'm looking for courage, for some evidence my life will change, though it takes forever, checking each clump for the symbolic leaf, and soon the summer is ending. Already the leaves turning, always the sick trees going first, the dying turning brilliant yellow, while a few dark birds perform their curfew of music. You want to see my hands, as empty now as at the first note, or was the point always to continue without a sign? The red poppy. The great thing is not having a mind. Feelings? Oh, I have those. They govern me. I have a Lord in heaven called the sun, and open for him, showing him the fire of my own heart, fire like his presence. What could such glory be if not a heart? Oh, my brothers and sisters, were you like me once, long ago, before you were human? Did you permit yourselves to open once, who would never open again? Because in truth I am speaking now the way you do. I speak because I am shattered. Early darkness. How can you say earth should give me joy? Each thing born is my burden. I cannot succeed with all of you. And you would like to dictate to me. You would like to tell me who among you is most valuable, who most resembles me. And you hold up as an example the pure life, the detachment you struggle to achieve. How can you understand me when you cannot understand yourselves? Your memory is not powerful enough. It will not reach back far enough. Never forget, you are my children. You are not suffering because you touched each other, but because you were born, because you required life separate from me. Retreating light. You were like very young children, always waiting for a story, and I'd been through it all too many times. I was tired of telling stories, so I gave you the pencil and paper. I gave you pens made of reeds I had gathered myself, afternoons in the dense meadows. I told you, write your own story. After all those years of listening, I thought you'd know what a story was. All you could do was weep. You wanted everything told to you, and nothing thought through yourselves. Then I realized you couldn't think with any real boldness or passion. You hadn't had your own lives yet, your own tragedies. So I gave you lives. I gave you tragedies, because apparently tools alone weren't enough. You will never know how deeply it pleases me to see you sitting there like independent beings, to see you dreaming by the open window, holding the pencils I gave you until the summer morning disappears into writing. Creation has brought you great excitement, as I knew it would, as it does in the beginning, and I am free to do as I please now, to attend the other things in confidence. You have no need of me anymore.